Hey everyone, Ross here and welcome back to a brand new Arena Breakout video. Now guys, this video is the full new player guide to Northridge. Now Northridge is the biggest of all the maps and at first it can be quite daunting. So hopefully after this guide you'll understand all of the good loot zones, the PvP choke points, areas with high player traffic to either go into or avoid, and extracting safely from the map from multiple different locations. Now, it's important to note that all the footage in the background I'm using is from the early access server, which will have excuse me, the new changes to the map coming in May when the game does update. So if Dam looks a bit different and some of the towers look a bit different, that is why. So just bear that in mind. It doesn't apply to now, it applies to the new version, but it can be applied to now at the same time because there's not that much of a change. Anyway, hopefully after this guide, guys, you'll all be more confident reading this map. You're going to go in knowing what you're doing, knowing where you're going, and you're not going to get killed straight away. Be frustrated like some people I know and not ever play Northridge. So anyway, guys, do us a massive favour, hit that like button on the video and make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we're going to get straight into this guide. So then guys, first of all, I'm going to give you an outline of all the best areas to loot on Northridge. Now, it's a very big map, there's lots of named places on it. However, I'm going to recommend 4 different areas that you should visit at least once or twice when you're in the raid of Northridge to actually find some decent stuff, or at least a pile of loot to walk out with. Now I'm talking these places will have safes, they'll have locked rooms, they'll have lots of chests of drawers, they'll have jackets, etc. that you can find some decent things in, like keys or key cards or pretty much lots of things that you can sell. So first of all, guys, we're going to go to the northernmost of the map, to observation deck. Now this is like sort of a one way in, one way out sort of deal, so it is a bit of a hard one when it comes to PvP confrontations. However, inside the observation deck itself, you've got quite a lot of things to loot. You've got a little room in the bottom with quotes and meds in. You've got a locked room with a safe in if you do have the key. Upstairs we've got lots of drawers to open and computers and stuff like that where you can find some decent stuff, so it's definitely worth checking it out at least once. Next guys on my list we have got the communications centre, which is sort of the left middle of the map. Now this is similar to observation, it's got lots of things to loot in there. It also has a free safe. There's no locked room in this area, however it does have quite a bit of things to loot. However, there's lots of bots in the area, scavs, so do make sure you take care with that. And of course it is a very frequented area, which I will get into later in the video, so definitely worth checking this place out as well. Right guys, next on our checklist is the sewage treatment plant, which is the smaller of the 2 danger zones indicated by the orange circles. Now this is a potential spawn for the scav boss, which is good loot in itself if you do manage to kill him. However, in the main sewage building, you have a locked room downstairs with a safe in, and upstairs you also have another free safe with some sets of drawers as well. So you can find some decent stuff in here. Definitely worth venturing into with your squad or even on your own. Lastly guys, for loot areas we'll have the largest danger zone, which is of course on here Northridge Hotel, referred to as Resort by a lot of other people because that's what it has been called all this time. They've obviously changed the name. However, this is a very large loot area with pretty much all the good key rooms on the map. You've got 1 free safe, or maybe it's 2, I think it's 1, in the upstairs offices near the pool room. The bar or whatever, you'll know the more you play the map exactly where to go in these places, but you can find a lot of stuff in the hotel as a whole, so it's definitely worth going here. But I would recommend taking a squad because Danger Zone is named that way for a reason. It's also a potential spawn for the scav boss again, which again will give you some decent loot. Alright guys, on to part 2, which is PvP choke points. Now by what I mean choke points, I mean places where it's a very narrow sort of area to move through, and you get players that frequent the area from both directions. So it's a nice place to set up with a sniper rifle or camp with your assault rifle. But it's also a place where you need to start being really sort of aware of your surroundings to watch for other people doing exactly this. And you know, there'll be a lot of PvP confrontations, as well as one of these places actually being an extraction point, which doesn't help in the slightest to everyone's confidence. Now what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to mark on the map right now where these places are so you can see. So it's basically, there is a small bridge in the northern part of the river between sort of observation deck and the dam. Now this is a very narrow bridge, I'm showing you right now in the background. And there's hills either side and obstacles to hide behind and stuff, so it is a bit of a iffy one if you do want to take this route. Now next, guys, we've got the dam in the middle. Now as you can see, the dam has changed a lot from the original game. Now it has been updated, it's got an upstairs floor, people can, you know, camp the top and stuff, but the extraction point is still in the same place, and I actually find it easier to extract on this one now that it's been changed as opposed to the last way it was. And finally, guys, we've got the bridge between sewage and the resort or the hotel. This is a bridge with a little sort of hut in the middle of it. Scavs frequent this area, but you will get a lot of traffic going to and from the hotel on this bridge, so you do get sort of a choke point happening here as well. So these are places to watch out for, be wary of, or just camp and take other people's gear. You're welcome. Right, guys, part 3 is areas with high player traffic or very high PvP zones. Now, obviously, some people on this game are going to prefer the PvP aspect, taking other people's gear, you know, instead of actually looting or taking other people's loot, in fact. Now, there is certain areas on this map that you'll often find players. Now, obviously, guys, I'm on the early access server, like I have said originally. Now, I haven't got another single player on this map with me right now. It took us 300 seconds to queue, so pretty much everything on the map is a bot, so I can't give you any footage at the moment because I don't have the other game installed. But what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm just going to mark on the map exactly where these places are, so you can be wary of it. You can either go to these places for PvP or try and avoid them to avoid getting killed and having your stuff taken. It's entirely up to you. However, these places are obviously the motel, resort, whatever you want to call it, the massive danger zone. Everyone's going to go there with their keys and their missions and stuff and fight over things. We've also got sewage, guys, the other danger zone. People like going in here with their keys, and there's some missions in there as well. And finally, communications. I don't know why communications gets so upbeat with all the PvP, but every time I spawn in Northridge, I always go communications. There's lots of scavs, lots of players gather there, and you will have a good time if that is what you're looking for. Now, obviously, guys, Northridge is a big map. Not everyone will go to these 3 places at all times, so there is a chance you can run into players absolutely anywhere. It is worth checking out the other areas or just roaming the map entirely to catch people running around. It does happen. You can see them absolutely anywhere, so that's entirely up to you. But these 3 places are the main places where you will find the most concentration of other players at any given time. Right, guys, last part of the video, but probably the most important, is of course your extract and how you leave the map. Now there's several options which I'm going to highlight on the map for you on the screen shortly. Now there is 2 permanent extraction points. These are the ones you'll have on your map when you spawn. There's 2 chance extraction points. There's a middle chance extraction point, and there's another chance extraction point that needs a certain thing to use it, and I'm going to go into all that right now. Now, guys, depending on which side of the map you spawn at, you're either going to have an extraction point next to Scrapyard or an extraction point next to North Village marked on the map right now. Now, these extractions are the main ones. They'll be green at all times. You can use them at any point of the raid. Now, depending again on which side you spawn at, if it's the North Village side or the Scrapyard side, you will also have a chance extract that accompanies the main extract. Now, these will be on the opposite side of the map to where you spawn, obviously. So the North Village one will be at the highway tunnel, and The other one will be at the parking lot. Now these are chance ones, they're not always there, and they're 50% or 30% I think it is chance of actually being open. You'll know if they're open because they'll have red smoke at them. There's no red smoke, they're not open, and you can't use them, you'll have to use the green ones. However, there's two other options to escape as well. Now guys, I did get a chance to actually record this because the extraction was active when I went on the map. Now the dam has an extraction in the middle of it. It's recommended you do lie down to extract from this one because people will camp the rocks with sniper rifles. Now, you can't get pushed from either direction, so usually what I do is I throw smoke in one direction and I aim down my sight at the other direction. If you're in a squad, it makes it easier to cover both directions. However, obviously dam's an option, but it's only got a 50% chance of actually being active, even if you do see the little ticket on the map saying it's there. If you look for red smoke through your sniper scope or whatever from a distance, and you can't see any, it's not open, it's pointless going, people still rat it. Right guys, one last extract for Northridge is the lifeboat. Now, I'm marking on the map right here on the beach. It's just below the observatory lettering here, near sawmill, near sewage treatment on the beach. It is actually a spawn point this as well. Now, there's only a certain amount of chance that the lifeboat's actually going to be there in the first place, so you can look from a distance to see there's lifeboats on the beach and there's red smoke present. Now, there's a couple of things you have to be wary of if you plan to use this one. First of all, like I say, it's not 100% going to be there. You also need a lifeboat key to actually use the thing in the first place. You can buy these off the black market for relatively cheap, and they've got 5 charges. Lastly guys, if you're in a full squad and you go to use the lifeboat, only 3 of you can use it at any one time. So usually what we do is 2 will take it and the next 2, but it does require you to have 2 keys, so make sure that at least more than just you or a party member has got the key. It's also important to note when you're extracting here that everybody up at the Northbridge Hotel, can actually see you from the cliffs. People in the surrounding areas can see you at Sawmill, on the bridge and stuff. So take a couple of smokes to pop down on the floor if you are going to go down that route, because it is a ridiculous extraction point, but very, very handy in the middle and a bit safer than dam, if I'm quite honest with you. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a thumbs up on it, leave a like down below, comment down below if you think you need anything added to this or if you did enjoy it. Don't comment that you know everything. If you know everything in the guide, you shouldn't be watching a newbie guide. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, and hopefully you learn to love Northridge just as much as I do, and after this guide you do find it a lot easier. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.